Hey guys, this is Dan from Driver Motorsports, and today we're going to talk about this beautiful 1969 Bluebird that we just got in on consignment. First off, this is one of my favorite cars in general, this chassis. So this is this is really cool for me, and I'm gonna nerd out a little bit about it. First off, one of the coolest things about this vehicle is how well it's been documented. So with the car and online and everything that you can find about this particular vehicle, with the car, they've got a DVD with all kinds of build sheets, pictures, dyno runs, kind of its progress through the entire build. So as we go through and talk about some of the things that are really specific to this car, it's really cool that you've got all this history that's done to it. So first off, the thing that you'll notice is it doesn't say Bluebird here. These have been custom made. It says Whitebird, obviously, because the car has been repainted. I believe in the history of the car, it said right before it was imported into California. There's a Whitebird logo on the front and the rear. On the exterior, obviously, the bullet style fender mirrors have been changed out. Let's see, on the front, this is actually really cool. It's been swapped out for some BMW projector headlights. It's got some different bulbs in there as well. The front grille with the SSS logo. There's SSS logos on the C-pillar here, SSS logo, the 1600 on the back. As far as wheels on this car, we've got Formula One. They're almost like Watanabe style. I don't really know if they're their own brand. That's not my particular area of interest. What is really cool is they do have Wilwood brake upgrades and some really nice rotors on there as well. Stainless steel braided brake lines, which is important. Suspension wise, this thing has Volkswagen GTI front struts, so they're adjustable, they're straight up coilovers. In the rear, it's running D50 struts, which is off of a truck. I used to have a mini truck, and that's a pretty common thing to do with those. Interior is absolutely gorgeous. It's got new carpet, new Cocoa floor mats. It's got seats from an E30 BMW. It's got the dash cluster, I believe from a 68 SSS. Everything is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. What's really cool about the rear end of this car is it is a 3.9 LSD, and it has been converted to CV axles. It's just a lot more planted. In the trunk, this is where it gets a little interesting. We're gonna start talking about some cool stuff here. In the trunk, it's got a 19-gallon fuel cell, and it's running a Z32 fuel pump. Now, under the hood of the car, I had no idea that this was under here. We popped the hood when we got it in, we're checking it in. It kind of sold me on this car. But we've got a beautiful SR20, and I love SRs. I've had them, I've worked on them, I've torn them apart more times than I ever want to. And the first thing you'll notice about this SR is it is a DE, which every SR that I've had was a DET, the turbo version. But I love that they kept a naturally aspirated DE into this car, because that's what it would have had originally. It's kind of true to the build of this car. At one point, this motor was carbureted. They've since switched it over to be fuel injected, and they're running all the wiring through a Can-Am fuse box, Optimo battery in the back, so everything's really simple to be wired. Even the wiring diagram and how they wired it is in the build sheet on that DVD and the paperwork. It's really sweet. So the first thing I want to talk about driving this thing is it really doesn't feel like a 50-year-old car. Everything feels nice and planted to the road. The SR in this thing is just exactly what you would want. It's all the grunt that an NASR should provide, and it's plenty enough for this car. This can't weigh very much, so that's definitely plenty enough power. And with the sound of the engine, it's not drony. It's got a full stainless steel exhaust that's been custom made for it. It sounds great, drives great. It's like all the simple things that they've done. Obviously, the SR transmission is a 5-speed transmission, and that is on the floor. The factory L13 motor that these came with would have been a 3-speed on the column here. So it doesn't have all the creature comforts, you know, that like a normal car these days would have, but it doesn't drive like a 50-year-old vehicle. Listen to this thing, man. The upgraded suspension feels a lot more planted than a factory would have. It's still nice and comfy for daily driving, but it doesn't have a lot of body roll. It kind of stays planted to the road. So little things that make a difference in just daily drivability and safety even is just they've installed 3-point seatbelt harnesses, which factory this would have just come with a lap belt. So that definitely makes a big difference as far as daily drivability. Because if you get in a wreck, obviously you would never want that to happen, but if you do, you don't want to go through the windshield. Woo, NASR, baby. Sounds exactly like it should. So with this SR, it does have a one-piece drive shaft, which gets rid of a lot of the slop, and it does have an upgraded clutch as well. So when it bites into gear, it really bites. From a dead stop, this thing can chirp the tires really quick. Overall, this car is pretty much perfect from a I want to drive this thing all the time standpoint. It's got everything you need. It's got plenty of power from the SR. It's planted with the brakes. It drives great, runs great, stays cool. It's literally the perfect daily. Honestly, for me, it's a 50-year-old car, but it doesn't feel 50 years old. I love this car. I would want to build one almost exactly like it. Styling, everything. Interior is fan-freaking-tastic. I love it. And if you guys love this vehicle, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to do tons of videos. We release a ton of videos. And if you like this style video of us kind of driving and talking about the cars, let us know. We'll do more of it.